Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I have an absolute whirlwind of a story for you from subreddit r/NeighborsFromHell. This tale involves the beloved neighbors, Karen Baskin and her hubby Kevin, that seemed great at first, even claiming that they love kids and that they don't mind if OP's kids play basketball. Heck, even if the ball goes into their yard, the kids can come right over and get it. Well, that turns out to be the opposite of true, because Karen decides to record OP's children, call the police, and tries to get a 10 and 15-year-old arrested for trespassing, calling them all white trash in the process. Classic Karen. Don't worry though, OP gets some epic revenge. So without further ado, let's jump into the story, shall we? Alexa, play Bitches Ain't Shit by Dr. Dre. My crib midget has evolved into a mini-human, and my mini-human is now an adult male body, which is, unfortunately, still outfitted with a teenage brain. Don't worry though, he knows everything. I myself have a late 30s model body, but my teenage brain is coming along well. That said, my loving wife is still able to maintain her sanity with 2.5 boys and 0.5 male adults in the house. However, the house was too small and we needed more leg room. We decided to move on up. The new house is everything we wanted. There is ample room for the growing family. The boys would conquer the upstairs and even have their own bathroom to grow science experiments. They occasionally fail to brush their teeth, but you can most certainly count on them to piss in/on everything except the toilet. Cake, my 11-year-old mini-human, shares my obsessive-compulsive disorder and keeps his room in working order. Kelly, my 15-year-old man-child genius, well, just don't touch that sock under his bed. Typical boy shit, I suppose. My wife and I now have a backyard. We have a 2-car garage to store her Christmas and Halloween decorations. The neighborhood is gorgeous, and I can literally walk to the clubhouse and play a round of golf. The cul-de-sac we live on is dominated by currently serving or retired military families. Everyone was extremely welcoming at the homeowners association, and the neighbors were all friendly. Well, at least for the moment. I have read about neighbor horror stories. I have seen them on television. I never in a million years thought I would live next to them. I'm a gunfighter by trade. Believe it or not, I don't like war. I like my job, but I don't enjoy the carnage of war. I'm a realist though. I would totally cast my ballot for world peace, but I know it only takes one asshole to ruin it for everyone. My immediate neighbors became those assholes. Enter the entitled parents, Kevin and Karen. They seemed nice at first. They were both really helpful, especially Kevin. Kevin had served in the Air Force, and Karen was a stay-at-home mother. They enlightened me regarding the neighborhood, the quality of the area schools, and told me the tips and tricks to avoid any hassle with the HOA. Fucking great, right? COVID-19, zombie apocalypse. The onset of COVID-19 forced the school district to cancel the remainder of the school year, so the boys didn't turn into zombies. However, the mass hysteria allowed my humanoids to become semi-professional Fortnite gamers who smelled like ball funk and survived on soda and zebra cakes. They were quickly becoming chubby bunnies. I, being neighborly, informed Kevin and Karen that I would be in the market for a portable basketball hoop to combat childhood obesity and type 2 diabetes. Side note, I remember shit. It can be quite literally a matter of life or death in my occupation, so I remember things vividly. Pleasantries, some other words. I'm thinking about getting a basketball hoop for the boys. That's great! It's so good to have young children in the neighborhood again. You know you can't put it in the street, right? It's against HOA rules. Kevin is a rules guy. Well aware. I will be putting it on the back pad. That's great! If the ball ever goes over the fence, just tell them to come get it. Awesome! It was a positive interaction, and they had no issue. Onward to Walmart. My children are well behaved. They may act like little shitheads to each other and inside the house, but they are both kind and courteous to others. Despite Karen's instructions, I told them to knock on the door if the ball ever goes over the fence. So they did. First bounce over. Hey Kevin, how can I help you? The ball went over the fence. Did the boys knock and ask you to get it? Yes, I just wanted to let you know. I spoke to my wife afterwards. That was odd, was all I could think. Is the guy going to let me know each time the ball goes over the fence? Maybe I should just knock on his door. Hey Kevin, just wanted to let you know that your car is parked on the driveway. This process quickly became a routine for Kevin. Kevin became a self-licking ice cream cone. Kevin came over 6 times over the course of about 3 months. My wife began keeping tallies because it was odd but somewhat comical. Then shit started to get real. Cake came running in the house scared. He had tears in his eyes, and he was continually reiterating, I didn't do anything wrong. Nobody has accused me of being world's best dad, so I was wondering if he did in fact do something wrong. I forego waterboarding Cake this time and ask what he's talking about. Cake stated, Karen is recording me. What? I look outside and sure as shit, I see Karen at the fence and pointing her cell phone at me as if it was a loaded gun. I think, well, my tits, because I know the wife is going to lose her shit. She did. My wife is dainty, but she quickly turned into a 4'11" Muhammad Ali. Man, it took every ounce of verbal reasoning for me to stop her from physically rearranging Karen's face meat. In addition to remembering things for work, I have to be well read regarding the laws that govern me as an American and the local laws. I knew Karen's tactic to scare and record Cake was immoral and unethical, but it was perfectly legal. This didn't sit well with my wife though. I reminded the wife that I have a doctorate in revenge from Fuckery University, and this would not go unanswered. I can be a prick too, and I'm a methodical prick. I did my best to erect makeshift barriers as a temporary solution. It was not perfect, but at least it showed that we were doing everything in our power to prevent balls from going over the fence. I also submitted plans for a permanent structure to the HOA. I was going to build a hanging herb garden wall, but it required approval before construction could start. The typical approval timeline was 2 weeks, but in addition to shitting on Earth, COVID-19 also shit on the approval process. I was in limbo. Tragically, another basketball fell victim to the senseless violence. It was the 9th basketball in approximately 8 months. The kids were terrified to ask for their basketball back, and it wasn't even worth the hassle anymore. That didn't stop Kevin though. 9th bounce over. OP home? Yes, but he injured his back. How can I help you? Get OP, please. I should mention that Kevin is outwardly sexist and not a fan of coloreds. Kevin, OP can't even walk right now. How can I help you? The basketball went over the fence again. It needs to stop. They need to stop playing basketball. He was now telling my wife how to parent. Good luck, buddy. I am sorry the ball went over the fence. We continue to tell the children to be careful, but I am not going to tell them they can't play basketball in their own yard. You'll tell your boys to stop playing. If the ball comes over the fence again, we are calling the cops. Tell your boys to stay out of our yard. They're trespassing. If you want to call the cops, then you can go ahead and do it. However, the boys do not go in your yard at all anymore. I was losing my shit in the bedroom. I could hear the conversation, but I physically could not make the front door. I managed to slide off the bed and began my army crawl to the door, but I was late. My wife was fuming, and I was pissed, and pathetically crawling on the floor. Yay, back injuries. We had no intention of starting a war, but the boys were doing nothing wrong. We had informed Kevin we were getting a hoop, and they had 0 issues with it. What the fuck was going on? 10th bounce over. The cops are called. The OP City Police Department sent 2 cruisers. The children may be 11 and 15, but I'll be damned if they don't go down without a fight. 1 cruiser was not going to suffice. You'd better send 2 for my miscreants. I just sat in my garage man cave and watched it all play out. The cops go to the neighbor's house first. They are there for more than an hour, and I can only assume we are being painted as horrible neighbors. Oh well, it was now pitch dark outside, and I was startled by the time an officer approaches. Hello, sir? Holy F, you scared the shit out of me. Sorry, hi, I'm Officer Kimball with OP City Police Department. How are you doing this evening? Typically, I would say fine, but I don't typically have a cop in my garage. I understand. The reason we are here is because the neighbors called about trespassing. Now, they said nobody went in their yard today, but they want you to understand they will press charges next time. I was baffled. I did my best to maintain my composure, but I am certain my face was screaming, "Are you effing serious?" Officer Kimball then pointed at his body camera and mouthed, "Recording," and then gave me a thumbs up gesture. I immediately seized the opportunity to fuck with him. Sorry, it's in my nature. Do you want another beer? You can't just drink one. What? I didn't have a beer with you. I'm kidding. And we are fully aware of their intent to press charges. I will be sure to do my best to prepare my boys for the rigors of prison life too. I think jail will be good for them too. May even toughen them up a bit. Okay, sir. I just wanted to ensure that you are aware. Ideally, we would like to see neighbors talk things like this out and not call the cops. Unfortunately, this is what it's come to. I just want to ensure you are aware. Tracking. You have a good evening, sir. Thanks. Officer Kimball then walked back to his patrol car. He didn't leave though. I assumed he was just finishing mundane paperwork, but he was there for at least 20 minutes. Then, much to my surprise, he returned and was a completely different officer. Hey man, back for that beer? No, sorry man, I have to play the game for the body cam. I hear you. I occasionally wear one at work, but it only cuts back on my cussing. People still get shot. You army? Yep, cool. What do you do? Shoot first, shoot often, and have my story straight before the cops arrive. I figure as much looking at all your stuff here. I just wanted to talk to you without the camera. They really seem eager to press charges if your children are caught in their yard. My wife and I have concluded that. That lady is batshit crazy. My God, she demanded we arrest your children tonight. Tonight? Yes, she said they trespassed before, and she wanted to press charges now. I am sorry you have to deal with this, brother. I really am. I can assure you that they have never gone in their yard without permission. Not once. They are terrified of her. She taunts them from the other side of the fence and records them. Seriously, they're scared of her. We now chalk the balls up as a loss. I believe you. There's something not right with that lady. She said the basketball wakes her son up, and she will not hesitate to press charges. I told her we would do our duty, but I don't think the magistrate will not view this situation kindly if we arrest 2 children for playing basketball. She clearly does not care though. I just wanted to chat with you, and without the body cam. I can't exactly call her crazy while it's running. Met fan. My wife was mowing the grass, and I was currently doing stuff I never thought would be a priority of mine, planting a new flower bed. Kevin and Karen had just returned from another Chick-fil-A run. Then the unthinkable happened. Kevin exited the car and immediately approached me, and he was angry. Your boys went into my yard and got a ball today. They may think we didn't notice, but we did. You need to tell those boys to stay out of my yard or... Wait a fucking minute. I don't tolerate people who lie, cheat, or steal. And you are lying right now. Your boys were... We were at an all-day soccer tournament in a different state. We have only been home for a couple hours. They have not played any basketball since we've been home. You're lying. Well, we are sick of them getting balls from our yard without permission. Look, Kevin, I get it. However, you fail to recall when your wife said the boys were more than welcome to go in the yard, and I didn't even get to finish when I heard the screech of Karen. I know my writing style is different, to say the least. I wish I was better. I do not have the words to accurately articulate the sound Karen made, but I will do my best. It was like the Tyrannosaurus from Jurassic Park making love to a nuclear explosion during a tornado, but way louder. The only thing that honestly makes this worse, and I kid you not, is that she is a dead ringer for Carol Baskin. Not maybe a little, but more, holy crap, Carol Baskin is your neighbor type of resemblance.
I never said that! I would never say that!
She screamed at the top of her lungs, a mere inches from my face. I could smell the Meow Mix bellow from her scream factory. Meanwhile, Kevin pulled a Houdini and vanished. Kevin is a passive-aggressive asshole, and direct confrontation scares him off. Yes, you did.
I never said that. You're wrong.
Whatever, it's not even worth it.
I am so sick of your heathens going in my yard. Your heathens better not go in my yard again, or I will have them arrested. I know the law.
The I know the law statement really rubbed me wrong. I was about to open my mouth and respond, but my wife was on her like stink on shit, which led me to believe Karen is louder than a lawnmower. My wife was still seething about Karen recording the humans. They don't go in your yard. And they're good children. They are not heathens. You better stop recording my children.
Oh, shut up. You guys are white trash. Your children play in the street and run around the neighborhood like criminals.
They broke my mulch too. Everybody knows you're trash.
Just stupid white trash.
I'm now thinking, oh fuck, and semi-worried about Karen's future health as an active participant of living humans. I think my wife wanted to expire Karen's shelf life. Excuse me? My children never play in the street. You're recording them and
just shut up. You're stupid. You're just plain stupid.
I can record them if I want.
No wonder you don't have jobs.
I have 3 advanced degrees. We're working from home. We are not.
You are. You're trashy and stupid, and both your children are stupid.
I had enough. There was no point in arguing either. Mark Twain stated to never argue with an idiot. They will drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Mark is correct, and Karen was trying to drag us down. Well, I don't know why, but I remember something that Kevin discussed with me when we first moved in. The trees. They have a large maple tree, and they have a juniper tree. Kevin always told me they were in the process of contracting a company to crown and lift the maple tree. Furthermore, they were going to get their juniper tree off my fence. Dear reader, I know the law too. I can legally trim anything that goes over my property line. Now all those pointless conversations were making sense. It was my time to join this exciting game called pettiness. Karen, you have until Sunday to get your juniper off my fence.
Shut up. I told you we were going to get it handled this fall.
It's June. You have until Sunday.
Or what?
I allow my wife to rejoin the conversation and I retreat to the garage. Then I grab my clippers and prune a good couple inches of the juniper tree and lay them at her feet. Cue T-Rex fucking a volcano voice.
What the hell do you think you are doing? I told you it will be done this fall.
You have until Saturday now.
You're dumb too, just like your wife, aren't you?
My intelligence may be debatable, but I suppose it was time to repeat the process. I now return with about 2 feet of tree and place it at her feet. You have until Friday.
You better not touch my tree again. I will call the cops and have you thrown in jail tonight. You're so dumb, aren't you? Now I see where your children get it from.
I know the law too, Karen. I will be back in a minute with some more of your juniper tree.
Kevin! Kevin! Kevin!
I again return to the tree. I now have another 2 feet of juniper tree to place at her feet. The more she screams, the smaller her tree becomes. It was an enjoyable game of cause and effect. Meanwhile, I see Kevin and Kevin Jr. running like Usain Bolt to secure their tree with toe straps.
I hope you're happy. You are terrible people. You're both terrible parents and your children are heathens. I'm sick of the ball bouncing and waking my son up too. You people need to move. You're just horrible parents. Horrible, horrible parents.
Dear reader, I had enough. I was at critical mass. I was going to explode. Karen continued to yell at my wife and I was zoning out. It was comical to watch Kevin and Kevin Jr. secure the tree to their porch in order to get it off the fence. Once complete, they quickly made their way back to the one-sided screaming party.
Horrible parents! Look what they did to my poor tree!
I think we should call the cops, dear.
Horrible parents! I feel sorry for your kids and
just shut the fuck up. I raked up 21 bags of leaves this past fall. 21. Funny, because we don't have a tree in our backyard. I pulled an additional bag's worth of leaves and branches from my gutter. Not from my tree either. It was from your tree. You know what, Kevin? I didn't bitch. I didn't knock on your door and complain. Yeah, and we live in a suburbia. This shit happens. They are kids. Kids play outside. I don't want the ball in your yard either. You accuse them of being in your yard. You also accuse them of breaking mulch. How in the F do you break mulch? Are you serious? Really? Yes, really. Maybe you should learn how to parent your horrible children. OP just fucking lost it. Wait for the surprise. Know what? That's the last time you question me about my parenting. My children are going to grow up and be productive members of our society. I find it comical that you have the audacity to question my parenting, seeing how you have a, wait for it, 49-year-old son living at your house for the past 9 years. I assume it was because of the divorce and the bankruptcy he filed 9 years ago. My children are waking your child up. Your child is a jobless 49-year-old man living at home with mom and dad. Is he working on a startup? Prestige worldwide, maybe? Boats and hoes? How do you know any of that? Do you go snooping through our mail too? I'm good at what I do, and I found everything online. I know you are 69 and lost your license due to reckless endangerment charge in 2017. I know Karen Jr. has 5 different moving violations and 1 DUI. I also know he was fired from his grounds crew job with the HOA. I know your husband is 72 and wears the same shirt every day. So I can only assume that laundry is not a priority. I know your phone numbers and email accounts. I know a lot of shit about you. Your child is 49 and lives at home. Maybe you should be more worried about your parenting and less about mine. We can have a civil relationship or we can have a war. Just remember this though, I am going to outlive you. They stormed in the house. They were not happy or impressed with my ability to figure shit out. It was not over for me though. They messed with the wrong guy. They were unaware of actions I took to keep the peace. For example, I never let the boys play basketball while they were outside eating dinner. I didn't let them play before 9 or after 7. I tried, but they would blare country music and enjoy the gorgeous weather and eat a meal. I never bitch about Garth Brooks on volume 100 while I watched the national news. I was teleworking, and I took fuckery up as a part-time job now. I have wrestled since I was 4 years old. I was never much of a basketball guy. I am now though. Karen and Kevin had just sat down to enjoy their meal. I don't have to spy either. I can easily see them out my French doors as I watch the national news. I patiently waited for the sloth speed F-heads to get their outside dinner setting perfectly situated. I could hear Tim McGraw playing when I opened my French doors. I like music too, so I figured I would get my groove and play basketball. Alexa, play Bitches Ain't Shit by Dr. Dre.
Now playing Bleep and Bleep by Dr. Dre.
Alexa, Volume 10. I have a new fondness for rap music and the game of basketball. This didn't stop Karen from recording my heathens on a daily basis. I know what I was about to do was petty, but I had 0 fucks to give at that point. I had one last F you. It was my final card to play, an Uno reverse card of sorts. My neighbors across the street and my family have bonded. He had a tree removed last week, and I had an epiphany. How much would it cost to trim a large maple tree that overhangs my property? I'm not talking a couple of branches either, but more like 1/2 of a more than 100-foot tree. I approached the tree removal company and offered them a sizable chunk of change and informed them of my delicate problem. They said, any friend of my neighbor is a friend of theirs. Pro bono. They move their large equipment over to my backyard and take their time getting ready. Guess who came running out of the house? No, not Brad Pitt. Fuck, get your shit together, reader. Karen and Kevin came running out. Hey buddy, not kid, not horrible parent, buddy. What can I do for you? What are they doing here? Oh, them? Yeah, what are they doing? Oh, well, they're going to trim the tree. Just trim? Yep, just a little trim.
You know that tree was a gift from our daughter, right? We don't want anything drastic. It has been with us for over 40 years now.
Yeah, it was a gift from our daughter. How much are you thinking of trimming?
Well, just so you're aware, you understand that I can legally trim anything that overhangs my property. I have approval from my lawyer and the HOA to trim it. Frankly, I care as much about your tree as you do my children's privacy. I could fucking care less.
How much are you talking about trimming then?
My property line is here, and it extends up to there. I'm going to trim every single branch that encroaches my property. So, probably about a third of your tree. It's gonna look really funny when I'm done. Oh well. Karen started to cry. It was a really, really ugly cry. There was no more rage left in her. She was defeated. Kevin was defeated as well. This was not my desire. Don't get me wrong, I don't care if she cried, but it was not my intent. Or you can stop recording my children. Karen, looking like a snot-nosed Carol Baskin. If I stop recording? Look, we don't have to like each other, because I certainly don't like you guys. My boys never go into your yard. Ever. I don't give a crap if you keep the other basketballs, but I will be damned if you record them ever again. If you do, I will cut your tree down without warning.
Thanks, bud.
No worries, friend. I'm just trying to be neighborly. Just remember, I am dead serious about the tree, and I am pretty certain I will outlive you. Dear reader, I know I am a prick. I know we were both in the wrong at times. I draw the line when a 69-year-old woman sees fit to torment my kids. We have only had one problem since these events occurred. Kevin Jr.'s car sat in the same spot for 9 months. I have submitted over 20 home improvement requests to the HOA, and I am now friends with the wonderful ladies at work there. They periodically inspect neighborhoods and notice the registration on Junior's vehicle was 2 years outdated and had it towed. Karen, of course, accused me of having it towed. We had another colorful conversation, but it ended there. Kevin Jr. is still jobless to this day. I assume he has managed to erect a bunk bed in his childhood bedroom. He has so much more room for activities. Just make sure you don't touch his drum set. Oh man, I love OP's writing style so much. If there's one thing that gets me, it's a sarcastic metaphor or 6, as well as some good old Dr. Dre. I wonder what happened to Karen and Kevin to make them end up this way. I'm going to guess they grew up with money and never had to struggle with anything ever, so minuscule problems like a child's basketball going onto their property seems like the end of the world. OP and his wife handled it like champs though, and I'm glad they got a hold on it and won the war before Karen Baskin had the chance to feed the children to tigers. But anyways, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed that Neighbors from Hell story. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!